Hi there, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. Just here to pop up our cards for this week. So I'm going to have a shuffle of the black and white Faulkner deck and see what our tarot cards are for this week. Okay, so our first card this week is Temperance. Now, excuse me, Temperance is one of those cards really that I kind of have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Temperance. Being an Aries, Temperance is not a particularly easy card for me. And if you're a fire sign, you might be the same, because Temperance talks about patience, really, having a bit of patience, and that's not our strong point. But it also has like another side to it, which is all about relationships and kind of that nice, soft, caring, gentle energy. Kind of family relationships and romantic relationships as well. All kinds of different relationships come up with Temperance, and it's a really lovely, gentle card that kind of asks you to be tolerant of others, but also really tolerant of yourself. And I think that's where the whole patience thing comes in, is we are, as humans, we want to get on, we want to move forward. And sometimes we have to take that slowly. And that can be frustrating for us because we want to be seeing progress. If you think about it from being a child, being a baby, everything is about progress. When do they say their first word? When do they take their first step? When do they, when are they able to read their first word? When can they go to their school? What's the next thing? What's the next stage? As soon as we put our children into school these days, straight away it's like, what we're going to test them on at the end of the year? What progress have they made? So our lives become all about progress rather than actually sort of sitting still and smelling the coffee, really, and just being okay with where we are. Gets drummed into us from quite an early age that where we are now is not good enough, because we want to be in the next class, in the highest class, reading the next highest level book, and it's all about pushing to achieve. And I get why, but it doesn't encourage us to be happy in ourselves, because we're constantly, if you have the next thing, you'll be happy. If you have the next thing, you'll be happy. If you have the next thing, you'll be happy. Rather than just like, I think I'm happy now. So there's quite a lot that goes on, I think, with Temperance. But in terms of a card for today, it asks you to be patient. It asks you to be calm. It asks you to be tolerant of others, mindful of others, and also kind of tolerant and mindful of yourself, your own journey, and allowing yourself to take the time you need on your journey rather than pushing too fast and going too fast. Our next card is the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is talking to us about, building having a firm foundation. So all the fours talk about, having four things on the ground. So, the kind of stability, and the Four of Cups, that can get a bit boring, because that's the Four of Cups is kind of like, yeah, it's all very stable, but it's all very dull. Whereas the Four of Pentacles is saying to you, have a look at where you are now, and are you needing to kind of protect where you are now and just stay still? Or are you really on a stable base now so that you can push forward and invest more time and effort in the future? So because this card's come up, Four of Pentacles has come up with Temperance, it's kind of suggesting to me that we might be needing to look at where we are now and kind of consolidating a little bit where we are now. So this week it feels like an energy of just being able to, consolidate where we are, and be in a place where we're kind of okay with where we are, and be a bit patient about pushing ourselves too hard. So it looks like a week where we need to be kind of being a little bit gentle with ourselves, I would say. These few cards. I'm just going to have a little shuffle. I'm going to put down a spirit animal for us, just to kind of see if there's anything else we need to know. But I would say this looks like a week of stability, kind of staying where you are. Don't get frustrated with that. You know, we don't have to be rushing forward all the time. Sometimes it's nice to just have a steady week, you know, just give ourselves a bit of a firm foundation to build on. Right, let's have a look and just see what our spirit animal is for today, for this week. There we go. Okay, so this is the stag. So the stag says, take the lead. I'm just going to have a look and see what she says in her book. This is one of Colette Baron Reid's decks. So she does look at her books and look at her. She reads her books herself when she's doing readings for people, even though she knows the stuff inside out. She kind of still picks the books up just because it's sometimes a word just jumps out. So this says, whether or not you have set your intentions to lead, you might find yourself suddenly called upon to step up to the forefront. Stag spirit is a reminder that now it's time to take heed of the call and be strong and compassionate. So compassion comes into temperance for sure. We definitely have that. So, you know, this is saying that others might look to you to be able to kind of set an example. I feel like I'm talking about setting an example rather than taking the lead and really pushing forward, because the other cards are kind of much more steady. So it might well be that, you know, we are, or you are, you know, you are asked to set an example, really. Behave in the way that you would expect others to behave towards you, is what my guide is giving me. So it's a really kind of strong, I feel like this is a really strong set of cards. You've got your Four of Pentacles, so that's stable. You've got your feet on the ground, and you're stable. You know, when I look at a stag, stags look very powerful, don't they? They're very strong, and you see them when you see them standing in the field with their great big antlers and everything. They're quite majestic. So there's power in this, but it's a kind of gentle power, I would say. So you have that in mind this week about, you know, being able to be powerful, but in a kind of gentle way. I mean, nobody likes those people at work, do they, where that come in and throw their weight about and you know, kind of make it the be I am kind of thing. Nobody kind of likes that energy. It's not conducive to getting the best out of people. So in order to get the best out of people, there's a need sometimes to be a little bit more gentle than that. And maybe there's a need to be a little bit more gentle with yourself at the moment as well, to get the best out of you. I will leave that with you for this week. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be lovely. And if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to support anything that I'm doing, I do have a Patreon. I don't know if it's a profile or an account or what it is really. I am on Patreon, where you can support me, and there are lots of other benefits that you can get from doing that. I'm just in the middle of updating that Patreon page at the moment, so it might be in progress a little bit over this week, where I'm just doing a little few adjustments on there. But yeah, feel free. That would be wonderful if you fancy supporting what I'm doing. That'd be great. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.